Hello, welcome back to Putin Football First. I'm Tony Vidray. I'm buffering. Hello to our friends at Optus there. We'll talk about you guys a little bit later. To my right is Jonathan Pointer.
Thank you, Tony.
And we're going to talk about the matches that were on last night, this morning at the FIFA World Cup 2018, and some absolute classic games, some great results, and some very stylish and top quality football. Yeah,
well, it's been said that the game last night, one of the games last night, equals the Portugal-Spain game in terms of interest.
Easily.
How good's that?
Yeah. Shots on goal has been. We have a new record with shots on goal at a World Cup.
We do,
in a match.
A new record for fouls on Neymar as well, as far as I can see.
Yeah. Okay, we'll cover it all.
We'll cover it all. All right, let's kick straight off with. Let's talk about Serbia-Costa Rica.
Yeah. Now, this was quite difficult to watch last night because it wasn't shown on free-to-air television, as a lot of people took their outrage on Twitter. And the hashtag Floptus apparently is trending at the moment today. Floptus Sports, there you go. So, so I tried for about half an hour and ended up giving up. And who would have thought people would have wanted to watch a World Cup match? It takes me back to the Australian census in August of 2016. Who would have thought that people wanted to do their census that night? So too many people clearly logged on at the same time. So they've got some issues. But in watching the highlights...
Well, hang on a second. I'm going to speak up in defence of Optus.
Defending indefensible.
Well, not everybody's had the difficulties. We hear from the people that did, and I feel for them.
Yep.
But I've been using it every night since the tournament started, and not a problem.
Really? Wow.
So let's.
So you watched part of the game last night?
Not that one. No, but every other game I've watched, it's not been a problem at all. So it isn't everybody, but it shouldn't be anybody.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you guys Optus, the number of people who've subscribed. Don't go and only allocate 20% of that bandwidth and think only 1 in 5 people are going to watch it. This is a big tournament, so I think they've underestimated, and their CEO came out and said they will fix it by August.
Yep.
In time for the Premier League. Hit it now.
Indeed. All right. Well, so now you've got that off your chest. Let's talk about Serbia, Costa Rica. You reviewed
the actual action on the field. I thought it was a terrific game. It was end-to-end stuff. Costa Rica are trying to replicate what they did 4 years ago. A little bit rusty, and a few teams we thought were a little bit rusty in their first match.
It's the first game of a World Cup. I think everyone comes out and fluffy.
And the nerves, So they just didn't quite get their combinations right. Both of it could have ended up another 3-3 draw. Serbia, I said before, was very, very tough in their qualifying group, and they showed their resilience and their toughness. Terrific goal by their captain to get the 1-0 result.
Kolarov put a rocket down there, didn't he? It was awesome.
It was unbelievable. Although I think the Mexican keeper would have got it. We'll talk about him in a moment.
He would have saved the Titanic last night.
You could have fired the ball out of a cannon last night. He would have stopped it.
All right. Well, let's get on to Mexico. Let's get on to Mexico, Germany. The biggest upset of the tournament so far.
Unbelievable.
You'd have to say we talked. We talked just yesterday about how Mexico was probably off and Germany was going to crush them. Again, we have to eat our hats.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's 1-0 to Mexico. Who'd have thought? Okay, you can tell. Really? Okay, so
trying to kill it off.
Yeah, Germany. I think Germany were feeling the same way about Mexico by the end of the game last night.
That's it.
I don't know. How many shots on goal?
25 shots on goal from Germany and about 18 or so from Mexico. But
that Mexican keeper, I swear he's on... talk about Mexican jumping beans. That was a performance.
He's got the best... what do you call it? Pole to pole. What do you call it? Post to post.
Goalkeeping skills.
Post to post coverage, I think, of any keeper. And I feel for him because I think he should have won the Goalkeeper of the Tournament award 4 years ago when Neuer won it. No disrespect to the German Manuel Neuer, but when your team is winning 4-1 against England, 4-0 against Argentina, 7-1 against Brazil, you probably don't have a lot to do. And I don't remember a commentator saying...
You can't use the score as a justification. That 7-1 might have involved 5 really good saves from Neuer.
I don't think there were.
Keeping the clean sheets. So.
I don't remember commentators saying, terrific save by Neuer. That's really kept Germany in the match winning 4-0.
Oh, look, maybe it was the same people that are operating the VAR that made the goalkeeper of the tournament choice.
I'll predict that if Mexico, and I think they'll have a good run, I hoping they'll have a good run. Love the way they play. If they get to the quarterfinals, maybe even semi-finals, I'll predict that Ochoa will be the goalkeeper of the tournament. Well, and he looks like Jimmy Fallon. and he's another keeper that wears a headband.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong at all.
Hey, I did say that the Mexican coach was renowned for making numerous changes and that they would either really gel or not. Clearly they did really gel.
You also said he was disliked back in his own
He
in his
was.
own country.
I don't think he's disliked today. I think he's one of the most popular people, but I swear that goalkeeper's birthday will become a national holiday very soon.
Look, and I couldn't... the way Germans played, I mean, it was very cavalier, very risky. 2 at the back, and they were undone. And then Mexico parked the bus. 5 in defence, 4 in the midfield, 1 striker, and then just kept playing on the counter attack. And one thing I liked actually from that game was they didn't score a second goal, because we know that if you score a second goal and you go up 2-0 against Germany, it means that they're going to come back at 2-2. Germany did it in the 1986 World Cup finals. They did it in the 1954 World Cup finals. Down 2-0 after 8 minutes.
Some of us weren't alive then, Tony.
I know
you were, but some of us weren't.
Hungary scored in the 6th minute, the 8th minute, the Germans came back. So they've got this extraordinary ability to come back from 2-0. So luckily the Mexican didn't score the second goal.
No, 1-0 seems to be the magic.
That's it.
The magic recipe. And of course, Switzerland-Brazil, the other upset from last night.
Yeah.
Swiss, woohoo, weren't they?
Is there a milk truck?
Look, it was fantastic to see Brazil trip up a bit. We all thought they were going to come out and steamroll Switzerland.
Yeah, definitely.
And I watched this game, and I have to say the Swiss were so well organised. Their defence was immaculate. It had to be to take on some of those names, but they didn't let those guys have any space at all. They played hard football.
Yep.
I have to say there were 19 fouls in the game.
Yep.
But
how many on Neymar?
10
out of those.
And I'll get to that in a minute. But overall, the Swiss were just so... I don't want to use the word heroic. We'll keep that for the Socceroos. But they were so well organised and they did not stop. They were tireless.
And again, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking watching the Socceroos let in that second goal in, because again, a 1-1 draw against France, you would have had this terrific trend, a 1-1 draw Argentina, Iceland, 1-1 draw Brazil, Switzerland. These teams, these mismatches, the Group 1 countries coming up against my Group 2 countries.
Theories?
And that's where
Australia let the team down on that one, didn't they?
Well, it was 1 versus 3, but again, it was heartbreaking to see these guys have got a terrific result. So
well, look, they got a terrific result. Zuba scored for Switzerland, and Coutinho scored for Brazil.
Zuba.
Thanks, Tony. So again, I'm going to be eating all the chocolate I can this evening just to celebrate, and my family's really happy about that. That and tacos.
It was just a great... I just loved it. It's a great spectacle. Watching Brazil... There's something about this shirt, watching it on TV against the red.
Are you visually watching this shirt on TV?
It was just visually beautiful, visually aesthetic. I love watching it.
Well, it's a little easier than Nigeria and Croatia. But anyway, so that was last night. And look, the implications are this World Cup is not going to be as cut and dried as we thought it would. Don't forget though, there is a history of some of the better teams. They do trip up and lose a match along the way, but the really good teams do come back and sort themselves out before the end of the stage. So it's not all over, but great to see some competition. Really
and it's the Outsiders World Cup, and the Outsiders are putting up a
wouldn't
huge
it be great
fight.
If an outsider won this year? We would be famous.
I think
we called it. Let's call it right now, Tony. Let's call it. An outsider is going to win this one.
You're calling me Rain Man quite often. Can I go back to what Gary Lineker once said, his famous quote of his? 90 minutes is a game.
Do I have a choice?
90 minutes is a game of football where everyone runs around, and in the end the Germans win. So
I don't think the Germans are going to win.
They're not going to win this year.
I'll say it now. I'll say it now.
I don't think they'll win.
All right, a couple of issues from last night. You've had your whinge about Floptus.
That wasn't a whinge, it was constructive criticism.
There's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of press today about how fouled Neymar was last night. Neymar he was at the hands of quite a few heavy tackles, right? But what I've got to say about that is this is a man that's made a career out of perhaps going down a little bit too easily, and perhaps putting it on when if you're going to cry wolf, sometimes you're going to cop it. And these guys were not particularly nasty. They just played really hard football.
They just stopped it. They just
didn't let him
get
around.
I think
he's just used to dribbling around people, and they just got in the way.
Yeah, that's it.
And that hairstyle, I'm surprised they didn't kill him. It really needed to be taken off the field.
Yeah, For the first game of a World Cup, he was doing a little bit too much trickery. This standing on the ball, the sort of feigning around, going. You're gonna
he's Brazilian.
You're going to get creamed. You're going to get creamed.
He did 10 times.
That's it, and he did.
I felt for him. He will be aching today.
Oh, God, yeah.
But this is football, and just because you're Brazil doesn't get you a free pass.
Yeah, that's it.
And a hats up to Marcelo. He played another brilliant game for Brazil.
Marshmallow.
Marcelo.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I think Marcelo is one of the unsung heroes of the Brazilian team. They've got to have men that do the work as well as the men that do the fancy stuff.
Yeah,
and he does it, not just on the ball, but off the ball.
Yeah, Paulinho, they're just, there's quality.
That's right. It is. It's a little bit like in rugby. The forwards make it easier for the backs.
And they'll get better. Every team, I think, will get better. And what a mismatch that scoreline of 5-0 on the first day now is looking at.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Amazing.
The only one. Okay, we're going to come back in a moment and talk about tomorrow's games. Now, everybody, what we're going to do shortly is move into Ref's Riff and Coach's Corner, our regular segments. But before we do that, I just want to say a quick reminder to everybody, our Facebook page, make sure you like us to get all the updates. YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, or simply go to our website, puttingfootballfirst.com.au, and contribute. On all of those platforms you can make comments. We love hearing from you. We've loved some of the comments so far. Some of them we haven't loved, but most of them we've loved. Please make sure you do.
We've only had to hide about 7 out of 10 comments, I think.
Yes, flopped us. Now, before we go on, Tony, you and I were talking off camera about the VAR. After 2 days, we were saying how great this tournament was. After 5, it's all anyone can talk about the VAR. What are we going to do to fix the problem?
Look, I think, as it's been pointed out, I think this World Cup tournament is one that they're trialling the VAR. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to learn for it. There'll be a lovely report that someone will issue to FIFA and say, these are all the things you did wrong. Let's not do that again.
As if we don't know that already.
That's it. So, this whole concept around an obvious error, what's an obvious error? Is it obvious to one person and not another? Should the VAR have intervened in the Brazil match when Zuba, looked like he had pushed the Brazilian? Did they use the VAR correctly there because it wasn't an obvious error?
And who decides when the VAR intervenes and when they don't?
Well, that's the interesting thing. It's either the referee can refer to the VAR if he's not sure, or the VAR just cuts in and makes the decision for him. So this whole concept that the referee's in charge of the match, they're no longer in charge of the match. Someone could come in and overrule him for something that is an obvious error. And
suddenly we have less control in a World Cup. Okay, moving along, let's have a look at tonight's games, Tony. What have we got? First up, Korea versus not Italy.
Korea versus not Italy.
That's
our cue.
Okay.
No, was that Swedish bells?
No, that was Sweden. No, we have Korea playing not Italy. How do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll be tough for the Koreans. I think a lot of the Asian nations always struggle at World Cups. I think Sweden having knocked out Italy, I don't think that was a fluke. I think they'll be very tough, very resolute, and in the eyes of the world, you don't want to knock out a country like Italy and then flop at the World Cup because everyone's going, well, you didn't deserve to be there. It was a fluke. These guys they'll go on with it. I think, look, Korea are full of running. A lot, Japan, these Asian countries are full of running, but I'm not sure that they're going to be, as effective.
Look, I'm with you. I think beat Italy will will go over the top of Korea, although the Korean coach is known as the Asian Mourinho, so anything's possible. Moving along, we've got Belgium-Panama.
Yeah, look, terrific, mouth-watering fixture. You look at all these things on paper, and Belgium-Panama just stands out.
I'm tipping Panama 5-0.
They've got a very lovely canal. Look, Panama's making their debut. They're a real unknown entity. Did quite well, in the CONCACAF qualifiers. Only the top 3 get through, and then the 4th goes in a home and away, qualify for the World Cup. So they did quite well to finish, top 3 in a difficult group. We'll see how they travel.
Oh, look, I just can't wait to see this Belgian team on the park. I put them up there with Spain and Portugal, and hope that they're there towards the end of the tournament.
They'll entertain.
All right, final match tonight.
Yes, Group H
is England-Tunisia.
Yes.
Now Tunisia has traditionally been a bit of a sticky team for England. They haven't always been easy. On paper, you'd say it's got to be a lay-down misère, but there's always a surprise when England plays Tunisia.
As you'll hear in one of the upcoming Ref's Riffs, a few years ago, England and Tunisia were in the same group, and the English press made light of how easy it was going to be for England to beat them. England actually had a 0-0 draw against Tunisia. They couldn't actually break them down. And
interesting fact, I'm going to do a Tony here, and I'm going to say that match was the last match in which there were 19 fouls, and 10 of them were on Alan Shearer.
Is that right? Yeah.
So, and how's that? We've got that match coming up tonight.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Gareth Southgate.
I think this is a better. Yeah, I think this is a better England, and I hope Harry Kane gets a little bit of luck and gets free and gets to ping them in. I think he's an exciting player, even though he plays for Tottenham. But at the national level, you got.
But I think they will. Yeah. And look, as I'm about to cover Gareth Southgate in Coach's Corner, and they've got an interesting formation that should see Kane get through for at least a shot or two tonight.
Yeah. No, so it should be. They should make it difficult again. Fall into the trap on paper. It won't be. And there's been. Let's not jinx the World Cup. There has not been a single 0-0 draw yet.
No, what a shame.
Goals in every match.
Shame.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to use that as a segue into today's Coach's Corner. Here we are, Gareth Southgate.
Let's have a look.
When England manager Sam Allardyce slipped on the banana peel of inappropriate behaviour and was removed after just 67 days, Gareth Southgate inherited the position of manager of the English national football team. As a player, he had a successful career in the EPL and played for England in the 1998 World Cup Finals tournament. He is perhaps most famous for being the first player to miss in the penalty shootout to Germany that saw England bow out of the tournament early. Years later, he'd make fun of the incident in a Pizza Hut commercial. It is perhaps his obvious sense of humour that won him the national team role, as there is no national manager's role around the world that needs a sense of humour more than the English one. England have been seen as perennial underachievers in this tournament since winning it in 1966. Every 4 years, the English participation in the World Cup has often quickly morphed into a wake, followed by public humiliation at home. That said, this year may just be different. With a seemingly very young side, Southgate has managed the team into a tight unit with, for once, a humility that befits the lack of expectation their country has come to reflect. Under less pressure than teams of the past, this team has had an impressive run into the tournament. Gareth Southgate is no fool. He has played, managed and commentated and bleeds English football. Since taking over, he has shown little fear and a bold stance on playing style, personnel and attitude, and has the English team shaping up as a possible but not probable dark horse. This team is sharp, but most importantly, happy. Perhaps learning from experience, Southgate has gone on record as saying how important it is for his players to be bold and inventive. If they are to go home early, it will not be through lack of trying everything they know how to win. He's made big decisions over the last 12 months. Easing out England captain Wayne Rooney was the first, then dropping Joe Hart and Jack Wilshere on the eve of the competition. Next, he has created a new system. Without the players who can really keep the ball under pressure or create from deep positions, Southgate has found a way to effectively bypass that part of the pitch. In a fluid 3-3-2-2 formation, his attacking players can push up high up the pitch, with the team looking to win the ball ahead of the halfway line rather than sit deep and absorb pressure. It means England aren't forced into a midfield battle they're likely to lose, and instead pose a threat higher up the pitch. If the opposition do bypass the high press, everyone drops back into a 5-3-2. It's pretty good. The ability to score is known. Whether the team have the defensive mettle to handle teams like France, Brazil and Spain remains to be seen. One thing is for sure in Southgate, England have picked up a solid manager who truly understands the occasion and his players. All they need now is to step up when it counts.
And we're back. Yeah, lots of interesting information about Gareth Southgate. I like him, Jonathan. I think he's got a very good temperament and he's just what the English team needs.
Yes, I think it's the most humble English team we've ever seen, and they come with absolutely no expectations this year.
That's it.
Mate, I got you a onesie. It's brand new.
I don't want it.
Look at this. You're going to love this.
I don't want it.
Come on, it's got your name on it. It's got your favourite number and everything.
I'm not wearing it.
You got to wear this.
I'm not wearing it.
No, you got to wear it. No, seriously, you got to. I went to a lot of trouble. You got to wear that.
No,
you do.
No,
you're wearing it. Why the grumpy face? Come on,
Shut
you look good.
Up.
You look great. I think you look good. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming. We'll talk to you again soon. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Murray's Brewery. Looking forward to that drop. And don't forget, talk to us on Facebook, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. You sure you're not going to say anything? Come on, Tony.
I want to go home.